All right, well, welcome back. Doing something very different today. I'm answering 7 questions. I got nominated by Chris, aka Ridin Dad, to answer 7 questions, which is what I'm going to do today. I'm riding a trike, so it sort of counts, right? Anyway, so here's the deal. So 7 questions. I'm supposed to answer these questions, and at the end of this, nominate people to, answer the same questions, do the same thing. So that's what I'm going to do. This is an easy one for me. I remember exactly when the seed was planted for me. I was young, probably around 10. The street that I grew up on, in the neighborhood that I grew up on in Southwest, there were 2 guys, older guys, up the street, and they bought brand spanking new dirt bikes. I do remember that. They were dirt bikes. I didn't know what a motorcycle was until I saw these 2 things. And, one was shiny red, one was shiny yellow, and they used to fight all the time. They used to say, which one do you like better? You like that one or you like this one? So I used to, depending on who I was talking to, I like this one better, or I like that one better. But my favorite one was the red one. So anyway, so that was like the first memory. And they both did the same thing. They picked me up, they put me on the bike. I was on the bike. It was like the greatest thing ever. I thought it was awesome. So yeah, that was like the first time I think the seed was planted was back then. Probably in my 20s, early 20s. Some friends and I, we were talking about getting motorcycles. I'm sure it was sport bike related at the time. I wasn't thinking Harleys at the time. It was probably like sport bike type thing. We wanted to look cool and be cool. Then in my mid to late 30s, I started getting the bug again. I hadn't really thought about it. I took the MSF course, got my endorsement, never bought a motorcycle. And then in my 30s, I started like really thinking about getting a bike again. But again, it was a few years in the making. And in 2010, I was like, you know what? I felt like I sort of had the means to do it. I had the desire to do it, so I took the MSF again for the second time, and then ultimately wound up buying the Dyna that I ride right now. So that's kind of like what influenced me. I still consider myself kind of a new rider. I have not been through, I think, everything that somebody has to go through to have that confidence to ride real technical roads. So for me, sweeping curves and stuff like that I'm cool with, but really technical switchbacks and stuff like that I might have some trouble with. So I say, mild twisties or straight is fine for me. I feel more comfortable solo, to be perfectly honest with you. I've been in groups twice. Okay, I guess the biggest thing is what do you define a group as? Is a group more than 5 people? Is it more than 10 people? I guess, for me, if it's like 3, 4, 5 people, I guess I'm okay with that. The problem with groups, the bigger the group, the higher the risk, in my opinion. I don't have to worry about, my technical ability when I'm solo or in a very small group of people that I know and trust. I don't have to worry about my technical ability. I don't have to worry about keeping up with people. I don't have to worry about ego. Like, ego plays a part of it. Big groups, there's always somebody that, feels like they need to be at a certain level or at a certain speed or do a certain thing like everybody else is doing. And I don't necessarily feel that way. You have to, ride your own ride, obviously. But I'd say if I had to answer the question, like legit answer the question, I'd say solo and mild twisties to straight. Let's leave it at that. I don't do anything other than day trips. I haven't been on a trip, overnight or longer, on the motorcycle, that is. One of the biggest reasons is we have animals. We have, my wife is a vet tech. We have lots and lots of animals. And one of them is a very unruly Czech Shepherd. Very obnoxious dog, and he's hard to board. He's a hard keeper. He's a tough dog to sort of put away. And it affects us whenever we do go on vacation. it's kind of like we're, you know, worried about what the dog is doing and stuff like that. So, you know, for now, it's, you know, it's day trips mostly. Again, based on the previous answer, I really haven't been anywhere. Not to say I won't. Hopefully sometime in the future I can. But yeah, there's a couple places that I would like to go. Tennessee is one of them. I'd really like to get to Tennessee and ride Tennessee. And I think I would like to, like Chris was saying, AKA Ridin Dad, like Ridin Dad was saying, I think I would like to get out to Milwaukee and check out that museum thing. I think that'd be pretty cool. Plus, and this is a story for another video, there's a tattoo artist out there that I would like to go visit and get another tattoo from. But again, that's a story for another day. I'm a city guy. I'm a very impatient person at times. Motorcycling has really forced me to slow down, to be way more patient, to just really take in what's going on around me and just try to make the best decisions I possibly can. And it absolutely has made me a better driver too. And that's the biggest thing. It's like, just slow down, look around, think about what you're doing, make good decisions. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing for me. And you know what too, and this is going to sound cheesy and corny, the more people I come in contact with that ride motorcycles, the more I realize we're all the same. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you do, what you look like. We're all the same. We have the same thoughts and feelings and fears and everything. Some of us are just better at, you know, controlling it than others, you know. But honestly, we're all the same. It's one thing, we can always find commonality, whether you're into music or tattoos or movies or motorcycling or whatever it is, there's common things for all of us, right? I don't know if I'm one to give advice, but I can tell you this. I think you need to always be self-aware. In other words, know your limits. You need to stay within yourself. You need to ride within your limits. Make sure that you are not extending yourself beyond your capabilities. One of the things that has helped me recently, since I've been doing YouTube, is I'm watching myself on video, and I've actually seen some mistakes that I have been making that I sort of fell into. If you have the means, not necessarily for vlogging, I don't even mean it for vlogging. I wouldn't even get into vlogging right out of the gate if you're brand new, because it's hard. Like for me, it's hard, you know, concentrating on what you're doing, and then, you know, trying to talk like you're talking to your buddy sitting next to you. It's very difficult, very weird. One, for liability, right? Because things happen on the bike, and it's good to have some record of what happened, certainly for liability. So I would say maybe get yourself a camera, watch yourself riding, and remember your training, and try to pick out the mistakes that you're making while you're riding. I would also say just make sure you practice. Get into an empty lot, practice as much as you possibly can. I did it the second time I got on the bike, because the first time again, a story for another day, but I had to get on that bike. I had to get into the parking lot and practice, because I got news for you. The first time I got on that motorcycle it was super, super intimidating, and I screwed up. So I had to get in the lot. I practiced up. I got very comfortable. Just get comfortable with your bike, whatever bike it happens to be. I wouldn't say, you know, a lot of people will say stick with a size that you feel comfortable with. I think you get used to anything. You know, the first bike you get on, I think you'll get used to it, but it's probably not bad advice. Try to do something a little bit easier to handle. Get on it, get comfortable with it, practice with it. Always ride in a good headspace, right? You should always have a good frame of mind when you go out riding. Don't go out riding if you're mad or angry or pissed off at the world or whatever. Now, riding, you know, they say it clears your head, and I never understood what that meant. It's not that you ride down the road with nothing in your head. It's quite the opposite. You are constantly thinking about the ride. You're constantly evaluating things. You're trying to identify hazards, eliminate risk. You have so much going on just managing your ride. You have no time to think, or no room to think about anything else. And that's what I never understood until I started riding. That's what it means. It's not about you just have a clear head. You're not thinking about anything rolling down the road. It's you just have no time to think about anything else. So that's fine. But yeah, practice, stay within your means, know yourself. If you can get a camera, watch yourself, identify some mistakes you're making and correct them. That's about the best I can do with advice. Nah. No, I don't. Nothing planned, obviously. Like I said, it's hard to get away, especially with the animals. But that doesn't mean that there's not places I want to go. Like I said, Tennessee is definitely one of them. I definitely want to ride Tennessee. I'm going to visit that state at some point. And then, like I said, probably Milwaukee at some point would be kind of cool. There's some local stuff that I want to do, local around Philadelphia. I've never been to the York factory. I would love to go to the York factory. And then there's other things that I think I'd like to do locally. Again, if down the road I can get to a point where I'm not worried about animals and the wife is willing to jump on the back of the bike and come with me, Tennessee is probably number one on the list. What I wanted to try to do was I wanted to reach out to the folks, the people that I'm nominating, and make sure that they're cool with doing this, right? Because it could be a little bit intimidating. So I reached out to a few people, and I got two for you. First one, fellow Philadelphian, the Moto Jawn. All right, he's doing the in and around the city of Philadelphia. He's kind of doing what I'm trying to do. He's doing it, but he's doing a much better job at it. He's really good. I think he's going to be a good one. I'm calling it now. Yeah, awesome dude. Very professorial. I think when I watch his videos and I listen to him, you just know he knows what he's talking about, right? I'm more like Joey Bag of Donuts, shoot from the hip kind of. He knows what he's doing. So he's one of them. And then I have another fellow Pennsylvanian, okay, Walt In PA. Walt In PA. So he's going to be the second person I nominate. I dig his style. I kind of like watching people who have a little more of a calm demeanor, and he has a very calm demeanor. At least he seems like a very chill dude. So I'm going to link both channels in the description. If you go over and check them out, let them know. If you like what you see and you sub, let them know Quiet Man sent you. So yeah, I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed it. So you guys, you're on the clock. Have fun with it. I appreciate you guys checking in. If you're new, take a look around. If you see some stuff you like and you want to see more, consider subbing. I'd love to have you. If you're coming back and you haven't subbed yet, but you watched a few of the videos, what are you waiting for? Hit the sub button. It's free. And if you are a sub and you're participating, commenting, liking, sharing, and we got good dialogue, I really appreciate that too. I really appreciate the support. Thanks, Ridin Dad, for thinking of me and nominating me. I really appreciate it. Anyway, you guys take care, have fun, ride safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.